Once upon a time, in a quiet mountain village nestled among misty peaks, there lived a little boy named Anne. Though his family was poor, Anne carried a heart full of kindness and hope that shone brighter than any treasure. Each day, he helped his mother in the fields, fetched water from the distant well, and tended to their small, humble hut. Despite the hardships that surrounded him, Anne always wore a smile and dreamed of brighter days to come. One crisp spring morning, while working in the sun-dappled field, Anne's eyes caught sight of something small and unremarkable, a tiny apricot seed lying forgotten in the dirt. Where others might have simply brushed it aside, Anne saw possibility. With gentle hands, he carefully lifted the seed and planted it near his home, whispering words of encouragement. "Grow strong, little one. Someday, you will bring joy to many." As the seasons turned, the villagers often laughed at Anne's dedication to the seemingly insignificant seed. "Why waste your time on such a thing?" they would ask. "It will bring you nothing but disappointment." But Anne never lost faith in the potential he saw. Each day, without fail, he would tend to his tiny charge. He watered it diligently, shielded it from harsh storms, and even sang to it as if it were his dearest friend in all the world. Slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, the seed began to respond to Anne's unwavering care. A small, fragile stem broke through the soil, reaching towards the sky. Then came delicate leaves, unfurling like tiny green flags of hope. As time passed, slender branches stretched outwards, growing stronger with each passing day. Anne's patience and love nourished the sapling, helping it grow tall and proud against the backdrop of the mountain village. Years went by, marked by the rhythm of planting and harvest, of winter snows and summer rains. And then, one glorious spring morning, Anne awoke to a sight that took his breath away. The once tiny seed had transformed into a magnificent tree, its branches laden with thousands of delicate white blossoms. The sweet fragrance filled the air, drawing villagers from far and wide to marvel at its beauty. But even as his neighbors gasped in wonder, Anne simply smiled his gentle smile and said, "The true gift is yet to come." For he knew that this was just the beginning of the tree's magic. As spring gave way to the warmth of summer, the blossoms underwent their own transformation. Delicate petals fell away, revealing clusters of golden apricots, each one swelling with sweetness and promise. The branches bent low under the weight of the bountiful harvest, a testament to the power of Anne's belief and care. Yet even now, with such abundance at his fingertips, Anne did not think to keep the fruits for himself alone. Instead, his generous spirit shone brighter than ever. He shared the apricots freely with his neighbors, ensuring that every child in the village had their fill of the sweet treats. He offered them to weary travelers passing through, providing a moment of joy and refreshment on their long journeys. The elderly and the sick found baskets of the golden fruit left quietly at their doors, a reminder that they were not forgotten. The apricot tree became more than just a source of food. It grew into a symbol of generosity, love, and unshakable faith in the goodness of the world. Its presence seemed to soften hearts and open minds throughout the village. People who had once been focused solely on their own concerns began to look outward, wondering how they too might make a difference. Inspired by Anne's example, villagers began planting their own trees and gardens. Where once there had been only struggle and scarcity, now orchards bloomed and vegetable patches flourished. The once barren hillsides became a patchwork of green, dotted with the colors of ripening fruit. The transformation went beyond just the physical landscape. As the village grew rich in fruits and vegetables, it also became wealthy in joy and unity. Neighbors who had rarely spoken now gathered in the shade of fruit trees, sharing stories and laughter. Children who had once known only hunger now played with rosy cheeks and bright eyes, their bellies full and their hearts light. Travelers who passed through the village began to speak of it in wonder, marveling at the abundance and kindness they found there. Some even chose to stay, drawn by the sense of community and the promise of a better life. The village that had once been overlooked and forgotten became known far and wide as a place of beauty and generosity. And whenever someone asked how this miraculous change had come about, Anne would simply point to the magnificent apricot tree that still stood tall near his humble home. With a twinkle in his eye, he would say, "It all began with belief in the good. Even the smallest seed can grow into something extraordinary if we nurture it with love and patience." As the years passed and Anne grew from a boy into a man and then into a wise elder, he never tired of sharing the story of the apricot seed. He would gather the village children around him, their eyes wide with wonder, and tell them of that long-ago spring morning when he had first planted the tiny seed. "Remember," he would say, his voice gentle but filled with conviction, "that goodness is like that seed. It may start small, almost too tiny to see. But if we believe in it, if we nurture it with patience and care, it will grow. And when it blossoms, its fruits will be enough to feed not just ourselves, but everyone around us." The children would listen, their young minds absorbing the wisdom of Anne's words. And as they grew, they too began to look for ways to plant seeds of kindness in the world around them. A helping hand offered to a struggling neighbor, a kind word to someone feeling sad, a small gift given without expectation of return. Each of these became a seed of goodness, ready to grow and multiply. The story of Anne and his apricot tree spread beyond the boundaries of the village, carried by travelers and traders to distant lands. It became a beloved tale, told and retold around flickering fires and in cozy homes, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, hope and goodness could take root and flourish. For those who heard the story, it served as a powerful lesson. It showed that goodness, like a seed, needs patience, care, and unwavering faith to grow. When we nurture it with love and share its fruits freely, it multiplies beyond our wildest dreams, touching lives far beyond our own. Anne's simple act of planting a seed had not only changed his life, but had transformed an entire community, proving that belief in goodness has the power to reshape not just ourselves, but the entire world around us. As the sun sets on our tale, casting long shadows across the thriving village and its bountiful orchards, we are left with a final image of Anne. He stands beneath the spreading branches of the apricot tree, now gnarled and ancient, but still bearing fruit. His weathered hands rest gently on the trunk, feeling the steady pulse of life within. And as he looks out over the village he loves, a smile of contentment plays across his face. For in the laughter of children playing among the trees, in the warm greetings exchanged between neighbors, and in the generosity that has become as natural as breathing to the villagers, and sees the true fruits of his labor, the seed of goodness he planted so long ago has grown into a forest of kindness, stretching far beyond what he could have ever imagined. And so, dear friends, as we close this chapter, let us carry with us the wisdom of Anne and his apricot tree. May we hold on to our faith in kindness, water it with patience, and trust that it will one day blossom into something beautiful beyond our wildest dreams. For in nurturing the seeds of goodness within our own hearts, we have the power to create a world where love and generosity flourish, and where even the smallest act of kindness can grow into a legacy that touches countless lives.